Howdy, folks. My name is Simon Klebanow, and I go by the name of Gratitude. That's me, Gratitude. And I gave myself that name after I was healed by the catastrophic wounds that I suffered as a result of being hit by a drugged driver. It happened a long time ago. I was leaving work. Why don't you join me? Would you walk with me? We're going to get on a virtual reality ride, and we're going to time travel into the past. We're going to time travel into the present, and we're going to time travel into the future. You're going to see where you came from, how you came to be, and where you're likely to end up if you continue on the course that you're on now. So this is going to be, we're on this virtual reality ride, and it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, left work. Come sit with me. We get in the car. You're just an observer. And we get on the interstate. We've driven about between one exit and another, between exit 3 and exit 2, when a drug driver doing what the police estimate was 70 miles an hour came across the center divider and hit me head on. I saw it coming. I couldn't avoid it. And the cage of the car crumpled down and hit me in the head, causing massive head trauma, traumatic brain injury, damaged my frontal lobes, ejected my eye from the eye socket. And I was conscious the whole time as I was even trying to fight off the firemen that were using the jaws of life to cut me out. But I really only remember this fireman saying to me, "You're going to be all right, buddy. You're going to be all right, buddy. You're going to be all right, buddy." So I was transported to the hospital. I know I was conscious when I was still on the operating room table. And then after that, I went into a coma. And I remember coming out of the coma. My hands were tied up. And I'm trying to get the back of this hand into my mouth, but it wouldn't work. And there was this woman standing there. And she said something to me, but my brain was too messed up. I didn't understand her. And she said it again. I still didn't understand her. And then she came right over to me. And she said, "Your wounds won't heal if you keep biting your stitches out." And I remember thinking, that kind of makes sense. So why was I biting my stitches out? And the answer is because that's what animals do. We are animals. And what's the difference between we human beings as animals and all other animals? And that is that we human beings have the opportunity to operate at choice. I choose not to bite my stitches out. So I was really out of commission for the next 3 years. And I learned a lot of things about myself. And we learn from our elders. That's how you're able to understand me now. From my words now. We learn from our elders. So I've learned some things about life. And you can learn them too. And what's possible now is for you to be able to create a championship life. You can be, do, and have what it is that you want. So the first step is you really need to understand more about who you are. And now that we have all the tools that we have ways to expedite this. So there are 8 billion people on the planet, and we're all different, right? However, we all fall into one of 16 different personality types. So that's called the Myers-Briggs Personality Type Indicator. So that'll give you an idea as to what your personality type is. And by the way, you can't change your personality, so just embrace it for what it is. The other thing that you can do to get a jump start on who you are is look at, it's actually a variation of the Myers-Briggs. It's called the Big Five plus Intelligence. You can find that online. 10 minutes is what it'll take. And it'll give you an insight into where you are on 5 different levels. The Big Five: openness to experience, conscientiousness, extroversion, introversion, agreeableness, and then neuroticism. We're all a little bit of neurotic, right? But it's a continuum. You'll see it on the scale. So I invite you to join me because we can go through this together. So one of the things that I found out is we don't go through life alone. We go through life with and for each other. So if you like, we can also get you a mentor. So you need to have goals. You need to figure that out. And you can do it. You just write them down. And then you know, as time goes by, you'll adjust them. How do you figure it out? You just look inside yourself. You know that little voice that's inside your head? The one that's always talking to you? Yeah, that one. The one that's talking to you right now. Plus me. So, going to time travel through the past. We're going to go back 7,000 years. Because that's where we really started from, where we learned so much in a Stone Age village. That's how we learned why if we were embarrassed, we might get, we were embarrassed because we didn't want to look bad in front of our other villagers. And if we were, of course, were asked to leave the village, well, that was the death sentence. So that's the way it was 7,000 years ago. We go up to the present moment, and there are good reasons why we operate the way we do, why we get embarrassed. So while we're all different, if you were to think of a time that you were most embarrassed, you couldn't possibly think that anybody else knew what it was like. Well, you know what? That's a feeling. And a feeling is a signaling device. We all get embarrassed. And we all experience it in a different way. So we're going to get on this virtual reality ride, and we're going to construct a purpose for our lives. And while we all really want different things, we all really want the same things. We want to be cared for. We want others to value us, and we want to value them. We want to be working towards a goal for a purpose, and we want support. So you can have a buddy that will help you, and then you can have a mentor that'll be older that will also help you to navigate your way through this wonderful experience that we have. And I invite you to take the Myers-Briggs, that's M-Y-E-R-S Briggs, and the Big Five plus Intelligence, and let's get on this virtual reality ride, and let's figure out how to create a championship life. So I will end by saying Namaste, which means that the light or the life that resides inside of me acknowledges the light or the life that resides inside of you. Namaste.